Woo! Woo! A lot of excitement here. Welcome to the Unexplainers Live. You may be familiar with the hit podcast. You may be familiar with the fantastic BBC Radio Wales show. You may have never heard of us before, but I am John Rutledge, believer in the paranormal, and with me, my co-host and non-believer.
Hello, world.
Introduce yourself, Mike.
My name is Mike Bubbins. I'm a non-believer slash skeptic. Good friend of John's, through thick and thin, mostly thin, isn't it?
Mostly thin, yeah.
Yeah, it's a testing relationship, but you know, we're still here, aren't we?
We're still here.
Still going strong.
For a lot of people who've heard our voices, this is the first time they'll see the studio. It's taken a long time to set this up. We've tried to recreate the theme of Vape Station.
I noticed you said you were going to arrange a green screen.
Yes.
And fair play, you've done exactly that, haven't
I've
you?
organised a green screen.
You know that technically that isn't it is a green screen.
It's a green screen, yeah.
Yeah, but the idea is that you project stuff onto a green screen.
Yeah, the projection issue will come later. I've been a bit busier with sort of heavier research so far.
Okay.
But we will get there. I've got these chairs, so I've tried to recreate the sort of chairs that
These are nice. I mean,
yeah.
you've sorted these out, haven't you?
Yeah.
What I like about these chairs is, I didn't know about the chairs till today, obviously. My shirt, I basically look like I've got floating legs.
Well, I like to think...
This looks like CGI. I mean, this is...
You look a bit like a Rhodesian dictator or
That's
someone,
the look I'm going for.
You know what I mean? It's
the strong...
Yeah, it's a lovely look.
If I was dictator, mate, you would be...
I'd be gone.
You'd be down the football field getting...
I'd be gone, yeah. Either that or assault mine.
On the halfway line, straight away.
Something like that. But nonetheless...
But I've set it off with a pair of Cubans. People would expect no less from me, I'd imagine. Look at those.
That's a wonderful look. Ladies' shoes you've got on there, or are they for men, or how does that work?
They're men's shoes.
Right.
They're
okay.
Italian handmade.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been
leather.
to Italy to get some shoes.
eBay.
Right. Okay. How much do they retail at?
Well, apparently they were £40 back in 1975.
Okay. So what about sort of 13 quid now, something?
I think I paid £14.50 for them.
Strong response.
Put a 15 quid top bid in, and I was the only bidder.
Came up with the classics. Wonderful.
So, you know.
But we're not here to talk about shoes. As you may know, we are here to talk about some of the in-depth investigations that we've carried out.
What's on the show, John? Tell the people.
On the show, this is the bit, we've got a menu card, Mike. Check this
look
out.
at
Shall I do the voiceover bit as well?
Do your MTV voice.
On tonight's live show, The Flat Earth Fun, we reveal the Twitter debate we had with the Flat Earth Society. Do you like that?
Yes, good.
Okay.
Going.
Bigfoot, small dog. We got footage captured by a dog. And finally, the last bit, the Chester Plague Doctor. Why is he prowling the streets of Chester? Ghost man or time slip?
Or none of the above.
Or none of the above, according to Mike. But regardless, I've done a lot of research.
You have, mate. I mean, fair play to you. I mean, but then again, you've got essentially no life. I mean, you got no. You haven't got a wife. You haven't got any kids.
Yeah, so
you haven't got a real job.
A lot of time to sort of build.
You sort of hang around your little grief hole there in Newport. It's
quite good.
Yeah, I mean, it works for you, mate. It works for you.
Research
you
centre,
keep doing
Mike.
it. Keep doing it.
I've broken the show down into 3 segments.
Well done, you.
I think we should build into segment 1. But before we do, people, you should know that we are live.
We are live, and you're part of this.
Yeah, I guess we are, at the moment, we've probably got at least between 5 to 8
I think
viewers.
it's single figures.
How many viewers have we got at the moment?
How many?
11 viewers.
11.
Very strong response.
You said you wouldn't make double figures, and we have done already.
Tell them the way to contact us, Mike.
Just get that egg off your face a minute.
Oh, thank you very much.
Go.
Okay, tell them how to contact us.
Lots of ways. I mean, get on Facebook, get on the Facebook page, and put a little comment in there.
What's the address for Facebook?
It's the Unexplainers.
Okay.
Well, they're watching it on there now, you Burke.
Well done. That's good.
Or tweet.
Yeah. Do you know the address for
Twitter? At the Unexplainers.
At the Unexplainers. Yeah.
Of course, there's iTunes and various. The Unexplainers Extra.
Yeah. The podcast is available to download and listen, and of course you can leave comments there, which is fantastic because everybody.
If they're nasty, don't bother.
Don't
bother. I'll find out where you live.
You might probably will.
I will find out where you live.
And he'll probably beat you to death with a leg of lamb that he's kept frozen in the freezer. Just the way he rolls. Let's move on to segment number 1, as I like to call it. Segment number 1. Are you ready for some? Have we got some posh graphics for this or anything?
Leon.
Okay.
We should mention the boys behind Leon and Carl.
Leon and Carl, thank you very much. We are talking about the flat Earth theory. Mike, could you describe the globe?
Well, yeah. I mean, a globe is a sphere, isn't it? I mean, a globe is a sphere.
Yeah.
Imagine a football. Imagine the Earth. That's sort of a round-shaped.
Yeah.
A three-dimensional circle, if you will.
Right, and we live on this three-dimensional circle. Relatively recently, we tweeted about the flat Earth theory. And for people who don't know about the flat Earth theory, there are a group of people around the world
The flat earthers.
Flat earthers who believe that the world is flat.
Yeah.
Now, we noticed one of these, let's say, devout followers of the theory sent a tweet out quite recently.
He did.
I think we've got that tweet. We can put it up on the screen.
Put it on the screen, John.
Mike, would you like to read what that tweet says?
This is... the Flat Earth Society has members all around the globe.
Now, we've blanked out the name of this follower for fear that they will...
1,512 likes.
Yeah, now there is a fear they will come and get us, so we've blanked out the name. Let's make up a name.
If they come to get me, I'll just hide on the other side of the earth.
There you go.
On the B side.
Yeah. Richard Lamleg is the...
Richard Lamleg will call him for today.
Yeah. Now, what Richard said was the Flat Earth Society has members all around the globe.
He's made a schoolboy error there, hasn't he?
Yeah, we noticed this because he's a flat earther. And he mentioned...
We pointed this out to him and he was less than pleased, John, wasn't he?
Yeah, around the globe, which...
He has a sort of sense of humour breakdown that only people who are moderately unhinged can have.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in tune with some of these theories. They might not be completely wrong. Mike, you don't believe at all that the Earth could be flat. There is some evidence.
I don't believe at all that the Earth is flat.
You don't believe at all that the Earth is flat, you know?
Well, nor do the other 7 billion people on the planet, John.
Well, some of the reactions we got from people... flat earthers who spoke to us via the medium of Twitter sent some very interesting tweets. We've got something coming up here that
I don't believe the Earth is flat.
Well, I'll just read this, Mike. This is another tweet that came in with pictorial evidence of the Earth. So this
That's
is
the
again
yin-yang symbol.
This has been sent in again by someone we've blanked out the name for fear of being murdered, but we could possibly make a name up for this one. Davy Rubberleg.
I'm going to call him Clive Tracksuit Bottoms.
Okay, Clive. So Clive Tracksuit Bottoms sent it. Would you like to read this out, Mike?
It says the sun and the moon are the same size. We do not revolve around the sun. Research, hashtag flat earth.
Okay, so I mean, again, I can take what he said into account. I can think these things through, and maybe, you know, what if he is right? I mean, do you hold strong...
What if he is right? Have you been on a plane?
I have been on a plane on several occasions.
Have you heard what we call space?
I've heard of space. I've seen 7 or 8 films about space.
There we go.
Okay, so you're still not that impressed with the fact that the Earth could be flat. Okay.
I honest to God thought, I mean, let's be honest, right? You have some pretty stupid ideas.
Yeah.
I thought this was a joke, right? I had no idea this was a real thing until you spoke to me. And then I thought they're putting our legs, these people. They're winding us up. It's a good wind-up. They put some sort of faux science behind it. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Right? But then little did I know, they take it very, very seriously.
The fact of the matter is, and a lot of people have said this, you spoke about it to me today, if the Earth was flat, what would happen if you reached the edge of the Earth?
I'd just throw them off.
So you would physically throw someone off?
I would drag someone, get here, you flat earther. I would drag them like that, get to the edge of the Earth, say, oh, you were right, bang.
So we're talking about several thousand people. You couldn't throw them all off because...
Couldn't I?
There's another fact, Mike. Flat earthers believe there's a dome that surrounds the Earth that keeps everything in, if you could imagine.
Well, the Truman Show.
A giant dome. Look at this picture here and just read this tweet for me, Mike.
It doesn't make it real, John.
Again, there's not a name. Let's make a name up for this flat earther.
What should we call him? Helen Netball.
Helen Netball sent this tweet in, yes.
Helen Netball. Helen Netball skirt.
Helen Netball skirt sent this tweet in, yes. She's a flat earther. And
she is.
See what she
you don't fall off an edge. She means off there. She's got of.
Okay, yeah.
She's obviously not overly intelligent.
Okay.
You don't fall off an edge. You hit the dome.
And what are the hashtags she's added?
Hashtag flat earth. Hashtag dome. Hashtag NASA.
Yeah.
Hashtag fake. Hashtag Antarctica. Hashtag South Pole. Hashtag Rayner. Or like Claire Rayner.
I think that's something to do with Claire Rayner, who was famous for being a flat earther.
Was she? Or was it just someone phoned up saying, listen, Claire, my husband believes in the Flat Earth Project. I want to kill myself. You know.
Claire talked her out of it.
Yeah, she talked her out of it, talked it down.
Very strong woman.
She was good at that, Mike.
Very strong woman.
She was good at that.
Comments are flooding in about this.
We've got comments.
I just want to say, before the first comment comes in, there was a photo there of the dome that surrounded the Earth.
Oh, just going to tuck myself in. Look at that.
Tuck yourself in, Mike.
I don't usually sit like that.
Mike Bubbins.
That's fine. Put the white on again there, Leon.
That's better.
That's fine. Well,
yeah.
Just see the...
Okay, we don't want to. Let's not go that far.
Oh,
okay,
it's
so
like
any
Babe
comments
Station,
coming
isn't it? It's like Babe
we have any
Station.
comments coming in there? Anything?
We've got some comments.
We know it, Leon.
Dylan Dawes, I'm completely prepared to believe in a flat Earth theory.
Okay, so
a fat Earth theory.
A fat Earth.
Lewis Brencher is disappointed only one of you took the care to match your shirt with the armchair.
Yeah, sorry
Thank
about
you,
that.
Lewis.
Sorry.
And Sarah says this is glorious.
Wow, okay.
Sarah,
so
I like you.
A very strong response so far.
Sarah knows her onions.
You know, this is...
Onions?
Round.
Of the globe?
Yeah, it's true. There are a lot of round things on the Earth. We still can't prove 100%. if the Earth is round or flat. I'm just
We
balancing
can,
the argument out.
but we can prove it 100%.
I'm not fully sure. I'd like to believe it. I was brought up.
What do you mean you'd like to believe it?
Well,
just believe it then, you idiot.
The thing is, when the evidence is out there, you have to gather it in and compute.
Yes,
And
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Satellites, planes,
Yeah.
around the world trips, Michael Palin,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, Alan Wicker. Ringing any bells?
Yes. Great
Yeah,
names.
Charlie
Great names.
Borman.
Yes.
Ewan
classic,
McGregor.
Classic. Yeah.
Jules Verne.
Let's just think about what shape did...
Didn't say around the edge of the world in 80 days, did it?
But if the truth has gotten in, maybe they would. Let's think of the shape of a Roman road, and that's...
What?
Right.
No, let's not do that a minute.
curve,
So what if you live near the edge of the Earth then? You think they'd have mentioned it by now, wouldn't you?
Yes. Now, this is what I would like to demonstrate. Now, I think the next diagram we've got coming up, I believe, demonstrates a little bit better how the flat Earth would write. Is that right? This is a reply we were sent from a flat Earth.
Well, look
it's
at
a
this.
diagram. So this uses numbers.
Right.
It uses photography. And if you see, it's taken from a hilltop ski resort with an elevation of 500 foot. Mike, would you like to look at this and then apply your theories of the round Earth? Again, I'm not saying whether I'm a flat Earth
It's not a theory
or
of the
a
round Earth, is it?
Okay, so take it away, Mike.
Well, let me just first say, if a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? Because look at that. First line, do the math.
Yeah.
Hello.
Not happy
They're
with the
American.
grammar?
They're American. Do the math.
Yeah.
Mathematics. There's not one sort of math, is there? You have geometry, you have trigonometry,
Yeah.
you have pure maths, you have calculus.
Yeah.
Do the maths.
Okay.
Do the maths.
So
Go
Matt-
back. Sorry, Leon. Go back to
Leon,
the.
can you bring that back, please? So let's have a look at this. There's a 4.5.
Do the maths. We don't live on a globe.
Okay.
4.4, and then just a bunch. I'm not going to read the numbers out, John. A
There's-
load of numbers just prove something. They scribble on there with some sort of dry board marker.
Yeah.
Hilltop ski resort, elevation 500. What does that mean?
Okay. So far the maths aren't convincing you. The
That isn't
22%.
maths.
It's a type
In
of
what
maths.
way is that maths?
It's a type of maths. I think if you...
You Burks. If I get a postcard of downtown Barry, right, and just draw some numbers on there,
Yeah.
I go, there we are, mate. Do the math.
Yeah, that's a
What do you
type
mean,
of maths. If you were to write a number on a piece of paper, that's a type of maths. You're calculating by just simply reading
I'm not
the
being funny.
number.
My 6-year-old son's got a better grasp of mathematics than you have.
Well, fair enough, but has your 6-year-old son got a grasp of the curvature of the Earth? Now, a lot of people talk about how, again, I'm not saying whether I'm a flatty or a roundy, and I'm not talking about belly buttons here, but a lot of people are talking about this whole concept. And one of the more recent experiments into flat earthery involved...
Oh, hang on a minute. We got flat earthers getting involved.
New comments coming through, strong response. Hold that thought. Felix Baumgartner, the well-known airspace jumper man. But
I think it was Felix Baumgartner.
That's the one, yes. Have you got the message coming there, Ian?
If the Earth is green, if the Earth green is round, then why are snooker tables green flat? You're calling Ray Reardon a liar.
I would never besmirch the name of Ray Reardon, a great Welshman, a great snooker player, and one of the finest snooker commentators with big glasses you're ever likely to see. So I will not have that on my watch.
I would like to say Ray Reardon would make a fantastic vampire impersonator as well.
Oh, now we're talking. I mean, if there's a vampire episode, Ray, and you want to get involved.
Yeah, I'm
Get
happy.
involved, mate, because I'd love to see him like as some sort of Bela Lugosi type, you know, with a
wonderful look.
proper traditional
Wonderful
vampire,
look.
not that one that Hugh Jackman did.
He might have one of those wine baskets and he does those trick shots into them.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
John Virgo.
Yeah, and he does
you
the
get one
wine
a little
baskets.
like a lobster pot, like a woven lobster pot.
And instead of red wine, he's got human blood.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Any more comments
watch
coming
that.
through there? We've got some more comments coming here. Obviously, strong response to
This
vampires.
is Hugh. I'm currently ironing using a flat ironing board. Is a round one better?
Interesting theory. Again, you see, I'm not saying I'm a flatty or a roundy, but all of these facts are going to help.
Mate, it's
convert you, Mike.
not like a 50-50 thing. You know, it's not like you believe in ghosts, you don't believe in ghosts. I can see why people, you know, you believe in ghosts, I don't believe in it. Yeah, I can see both sides of that argument.
Yeah.
It's not, do I believe in the flat earth or the round earth? It's obviously a round earth.
Well, I mean, I did believe this, but another very interesting point that was brought across was we were talking previously about Felix Baumgartner, who jumped out of a...
Baumgartner.
That's the one. He jumped out of a very high platform with a type of magical parachute that helped him float down to Earth successfully.
Well, just a parachute, wasn't it? It wasn't a magical parachute.
Well, I mean, we don't know all of the facts.
We do know. I saw
Until
him
we do
live on
more
television,
research,
yeah.
we don't know all of the facts, Mike. But if we look at this image now, if you'd just like to read the top image, So you'd like to... And,
This
and
says
study
distorted GoPro camera view for television deception.
And what do we see from that image, Mike? What do we see there?
We see the Earth.
Yeah.
We see Felix Baumgartner
Yeah.
/ Baumgartner on the platform in the suit, about to jump off.
Yeah.
I think 24 miles up, was he?
24 miles
can't
up,
remember the exact
yes,
step.
incredibly high.
And then underneath, actual footage with the flat horizon. And they got the same picture with just a flat horizon on
Yeah,
it.
so I
I
don't
like the
think...
top one. Talk about a loaded thing is distorted GoPro camera view for television deception.
Yeah, I mean, if you're working with a wide-angle lens, I don't know if you know this, but it can often sort of bend the image slightly due to this sort of convex effect of the lens. So if the Earth was flat, this lens would create a flatness. Another message coming in? Any other messages there? I've just been told to
Very
move
quickly,
on.
before I move on from the Felix Baumgartner, my wife, who she may or may not be watching, sorry ladies if you're listening to this,
Yeah.
I am married. Like, you know, I mention that often, you know, I can almost hear the tears.
Yeah.
Because, you know. She watched that live, and then she nipped out to the, make a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I watched the rest of it, watch him land and all, you know, all the stuff. I said, she came back and I said, I can't believe he's done it. You know, he's jumped 24 miles. Brilliant.
Massive distance.
Wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And then she genuinely said, did he bungee it?
Not the best question to ask. We've got a live ISS feed from outer space.
The International Space Station, John.
You still question
Here
this
we go. This is
theory.
from the ISS right now. We've
Okay.
Leon's patched this in for us.
This is one of the leading terror
I mean,
groups
that
at the
is,
moment.
there's proof. That's the sort of proof that you would show me.
Okay, so what we're seeing here is a torch being shone
This
into
is
the
proof
eyes.
that things reflect off lenses in space.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't prove much. I wanted that to show the Earth, essentially, but it's not working.
Are you sure we're not looking at the Earth from above now? This is a circle. The Earth is in
Or
the
maybe
middle.
that's the sun just going around the outside
So
of the
that's
disk of
sun
the Earth there.
going around the outside of the Earth. It looks like we've just lost that feed there.
Is that- hang on
hello.
a minute.
The high-definition Earth viewing experiment is either switching cameras or... Wow. Something's happened there, Mike.
Yes,
I
malfunction.
can't confirm exactly what's happened there, but it looks like we have lost contact with terror group ISIS, who have been filming space.
No, that's not ISIS, man. That's the International... That's ISS.
Well-known terror group.
No, that's IS.
Massive terror group.
ISIS, huh?
And they film the Earth from space. They're
No.
watching us
No.
now. Okay, so we've looked at some of the evidence.
Right.
You've seen space. You've seen photographs. In my research, have managed to find a map that's been drawn up by a leading expert in the flat Earth theory that could probably...
Wow, a leading expert in the
yeah,
flat Earth
a
theory. This would
leading
be
expert.
good.
Yeah, so
I
I don't know if
can't
we've
wait
got
to
the
see
image
this.
here. We've got a slide of
Cue that
the
up.
flat
Let's have a
Earth
look at
map.
this.
So let's look at this. This map was drawn relatively recently.
It looks pretty new, yeah. It looks like the stuff that's been computer generated.
Yeah, it's a type of photograph called a picture. And if you look at this, you can see how the Earth would work if it actually was flat. So what
That's
I want
not
you to
flat.
take a few notes. Just describe what you can
That
see.
isn't
Mike,
flat.
there. Okay, so
What
what
strikes
can
me
you see
first of all, your flat Earth theory of a disc, is
Yeah.
that isn't flat or a disc.
now? Okay,
Right.
so what are we seeing here, Mike?
We've seen a map of the square and stationary Earth by Professor Orlando Ferguson.
Yes, that's right.
It's a good name, at
Keep
least.
that name in mind. Yes,
From Hot Springs, South Dakota.
one of the leading places to
Great
discover flat
seat of
Earth.
learning, that.
Yeah.
What I do notice is there's 4 angels
Four
on the
massive
corners,
angels, yeah.
which are bigger than North America.
Yeah, they are gigantic.
I imagine
so
that the sort of downdraft off their wings would be absolutely phenomenal.
if you were to fight these flat Earth believers and throw them off the edge of the Earth, you would find these giant beings would be able to scoop them up in the palms of their hands, drop them back in the middle. They're believers, they'd be safe. Whereas the angels may just flick you off the edge, you would be pulled apart in the vacuum of space. If there is a vacuum in space, we don't know. ISIS runs space.
We do know.
Do we know?
Yes, we
That's
do
for
know.
another episode. I think that's for another episode. Let's just go in a bit further here now. We've got the flat Earth map.
Right.
We know how science backs it up. I think we've got another image here, which is just a detail of the map here.
Look at that. There's your science. That's your science in a nutshell.
Okay, so just want to read.
These men are flying on the globe at the rate of 65,000 miles per hour around the sun and 1,042 miles per hour around the centre of the Earth. Spelled centre wrong, American, in their minds. Think of the speed.
Okay, Mike. So what's the
But
fastest?
I've seen this theory before. This is what the ancient Greeks, this is why they thought that we were stationary, right? Because they said, well, if we were rushing through space,
Yeah.
wouldn't we have this horrendous winds all the time, wouldn't we?
Massive wind.
Yeah, we wouldn't. Well, A, there's no wind, there's no air in space. So
Right.
You're not going to get a wind. And B, we're surrounded by an atmosphere, so it wouldn't make a difference.
Okay, so let's just cut back to
And
that
also,
image.
you wouldn't have, on any theory, you wouldn't have blokes you know, somewhere in the region of 12,000 miles tall, hanging on to sort of Ecuador and I imagine there's other hands around sort of Sierra Leone.
Well, what I want to say here is, firstly, there obviously is wind in space because we can see through that image their hair is moving, their beards are being pushed backwards, and who's not to say that they are space goblins or some type of creature that can live in space that looks like
you
a man,
can't look at a picture drawn 150 years ago, whatever it is, and say, that's evidence, mate, that's evidence, there's wind in space, look at that, his hair's moving.
Possibly not, but Orlando Ferguson. I'm just saying what the facts are, Mike. Don't get angry. Orlando Ferguson, the man who drew that map. I think we've got a detailed photograph of him.
Let's have a look at Orlando.
Let's just have a look. So this is Orlando, and if you look here, what's very interesting is Orlando had his neck cut open, and a small black dog is crawling out the bottom of his face.
Yeah.
This man managed to live.
It looks to me as if someone has maybe, let's combine conspiracy theories. Someone from the grassy knoll has fired a high-powered rifle, maybe with a round, a hollow-tipped round in it, into the back of his neck, and it's basically just taken away all of Orlando's face below the nose. If you just go back to the still there, Leon, could we? See?
Yeah, the bottom portion of his face has been removed.
Gone. Gone.
You know,
but I imagine that is the kill shot. You're not going to survive that.
Possibly not. There is a way to access this map if you are interested. Orlando has put the map up for sale. There are not many left in existence, but if you would like to read the... Orlando says that if you just send 25 cents, as they call it in America, a quarter, to the author, Professor Orlando Ferguson, for a book explaining the square and stationary Earth, it knocks the globe theory clean out. It will teach you how to foretell eclipses. Yes.
It is worth its weight in gold.
Look at that. I think we've...
It's worth its weight in gold, is it?
Yeah, it is definitely worth its weight in
25
gold.
cents worth of gold?
Yeah.
What's that going to get you?
That's a massive amount of gold, especially in today's market.
Well, what do you think 25 cents of gold? How much do you think that is? That's about 14p.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. We've come a long way. We've learned a lot. Mike?
So you got some bloke with a merkin tied to his face.
It's a facial wound. Don't take the mic, please. The man may be dead, but we have to respect him.
Who I think... Didn't you tell me that he was a real estate agent as well?
He was a real estate agent. He was a estate agent who also specialised in the flat Earth. Talking of which, new comments have just come in. Is this right? I think we just got a new comment.
Got a comment in. Come on.
Supporting or denying? Let's find out what people are saying now, Mike.
What's the world saying?
Hugh Solo says, looks like a big roulette wheel. Is the moon the ball then? £20 on red. Cheers.
There you go.
Strong.
Are we living...
It does look like a roulette wheel.
Yeah.
And Geraldine Buckley, pug chin.
Pug chin.
It does look like a pug chin.
It does look like a pug chin.
Does look like a pug chin.
So we've learned some fantastic things tonight through the help of the viewers. I want to
Imagine buying a house off that dude. I mean, it's as if real estate agents, you know, let's be honest, they're not known for telling the truth.
Just thought of it, Mike. You're not going to buy a house off of him. You're going to buy a flat.
Oh, now that is why.
End of this segment. Mike, are you a believer or a non-believer?
You've just won the internet with that.
Thank you very much. Are you a believer or a non-believer in the flat Earth theory?
Non-believer.
Right, in that case, I'd like to move on to segment number 2.
Whoa.
Okay, go on.
And you?
Still on the fence. Still on the fence. We'll see how it goes. I'd like to move on to segment number 2 now.
Right.
I like to call this part of the show segment number 2.
Right.
We don't have any sort of jingles or sound effects for this, so do you want to make a whooshing sound? I'll just say segment.
Kids on
Oh, that's quite whooshy. Segment number 2.
Segment 2.
Bigfoot.
Segment 2.
Well done. Well done.
Touch me, John.
Bigfoot. We all know Bigfoot exists. Bigfoot.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
What's the matter?
Right, you stuff. We don't all know that Bigfoot exists, do we?
I think there is enough evidence out there to say it exists. But, you know.
Right, we don't all know that Bigfoot exists.
Okay.
Right?
Some of us in this room know that he exists.
At least one of us in this room thinks that Bigfoot exists.
Okay,
let's move on from that premise, shall we?
Okay.
This is one that this is a theory that we researched ourselves.
We researched ourselves
recently.
We actually went out and saw a Bigfoot whilst recording an episode for the Unexplainers in North Wales, The Legend of the Grey King.
We had a very nice night in North Wales, you and I.
We saw a Bigfoot.
We stepped on a stone floor under a starry sky.
And we saw a Bigfoot. Sadly, the tape wasn't rolling when we saw the Bigfoot. It didn't make it through to the final cut of the show.
You claim you saw something in the darkness.
Yeah, that was a Bigfoot.
I was outside at the time having a wee. I don't know if those two things were related to each other.
Well, for people who weren't there are other ways to see evidence of Bigfoot. Probably the most famous being the Patterson Gimlin film, which I think was 1967.
Yeah.
Do we have evidence of Bigfoot out there to show to the viewers, please?
This is the Patterson Gimlin film.
This is the original bit of footage here. Now, if you watch this, a lot of people, I grew up watching this, and and it's just stayed with me for many
grew
years.
up watching this, did you?
I used to go to the leisure centre and fish out all the
Swap
hair
shop and
from the drains, and then stick it to my body and run around the leisure centre screaming I was a Bigfoot, and I was banned.
There's not much to do in Newport, is there, to be fair?
Not
There's
a
an awful
lot,
to do in
but
Newport.
here's the film, and if you watch...
For a
you can
kick-off,
see-
I mean, what's the guy doing? Is he on a trampette when he's taking this footage?
Now, if you think about it, Mike, when you saw a Bigfoot walking across a wooded area like that, you too would be shaking with fear, which is what happened in 1967.
If I saw a man dressed in a bear suit walking like that, it was probably my mate.
Yeah.
He's probably laughing. That's why he's check out Dave in the suit. That's what he's doing. And then suddenly this becomes prima facie evidence that Bigfoot exists.
There's no way you cannot deny that's a living creature. You cannot deny that.
Right, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Now,
In the same way that at my 40th birthday party, there was a 6-foot bagpuss, right? I didn't think bagpuss exists.
yeah,
I thought it was my mate Barry in a bagpuss outfit.
I think we all know that if you believe in Bagpuss, he will come to life. And I think what's happened here is the belief was so strong that they had a camera and it brought the entity out of the woods. It's a type of wood spirit.
He's walking back into the woods, you berg.
Yeah, but he came out because the strength of believing, or the believenity, was strong enough to draw him out.
Listen to what you're saying,
So you can
right?
see-
Listen to what you're saying.
So you can
The
imagine...
believenity was strong enough.
Yeah,
They drew him out of the woods.
yeah.
And
you
then he
can
walked
see-
back in.
And as he's
Why
walking
is he
back
walking
in-
back in? Has the believenity died down a bit now, is it?
Yeah, what happened was the fear was so great that the believenity dropped and he went back into the woods.
Yeah,
Now,
walking just like a bloke trying to look like an animal.
Okay, so this is old footage and a lot of people have questioned this. over
Weirdly,
the
he's about
years.
6 foot tall as well, which is a really freaky size, isn't it?
It's a massive size for a
Same
Bigfoot
height as
to
me.
be. Shocked, Mike? Scared? What are your emotions over this?
I'm shocked this is still news 50 years later, yeah.
Okay, well, interestingly enough, we have new footage that's just sprung to light. Very interesting, high definition,
Right.
filmed very recently in the past few weeks of Bigfoot once again being spotted, not in the same forest, but in a forest.
Where?
A place called America, which is a massive country. They have over 5,000 people. Some people have swimming pools in their back gardens.
And it's full of Americans, mate.
It's a crazy country.
It's full of Americans.
One of the...
You know, and I'm not knocking them.
I like them.
My sister married one.
I'm a big fan of them.
He's a Burke, by the way.
Okay, fair enough. Not my views, yours.
He is a Burke.
The footage that we managed to collect was fantastic.
He's
because
not, by the way. Hello, Ian, if you're listening.
you may say that the original Bigfoot film was set up. Okay, it took a
I
human.
may say that. I just have said it. In fact, I have said it.
Okay,
Just said it then.
look at the image. Okay, that
Right.
could be a man in a costume. It could be framed up by another man,
Yeah.
and they've set it all up.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's only got one leg. He's only got one leg.
yeah. Now, what specialists have said, it's impossible.
Look at the other leg there. Just sort of cuts off.
It's absolutely impossible for a man to stand like that. There's no way a man could stand in that position.
What, on one leg?
You can't do it. It cannot be done. They've tried to.
You think it's
recreate it.
beyond human capability to stand on one leg, do you?
Physicists have looked at this and they've studied
Oscar
it.
Pistorius, right?
He hasn't got any legs.
He's a wrong un, right? No one's saying he's not one. But, you know, the man's running the Olympics with no legs. You don't think a man in a cheap suit can stand on one leg, do you?
Can't be done. They've tried to recreate it. They've used physics. They've used various scientific approaches. It can't be done, which therefore reinforces the fact that
Yes,
it is a creature from another environment. As I said, we have footage of new evidence that will reinforce my belief and diminish your sort of
Is this it?
stumbling. Watch this now. That's a dog. Can we just pause for a second
Oh,
there?
what are you doing now?
Now, if what we've got here, we've got a dog in a field.
Right.
And it's had
I'm
a
not,
GoPro.
I'm not disputing for 1 second that dogs exist, by the way,
Now, that's had a GoPro attached to the back of it.
as you do.
And the dog was sent into the woods on a mission, perhaps to find some meat or to save some children who've fallen down a well. I don't quite know why he was there with a camera on his back. But if you notice...
Don't just brush over that. Some person strapped a GoPro to their dog's backside
The bot, I think is the correct terminology.
and sent him into the woods.
Yeah,
Well,
now...
they got issues for a kickoff.
Okay, so the dog's got a camera attached. Now look to the left of his head. What do you
Right.
see? Watch to the left of his head.
I see a man
As
walking,
the dog comes
walking
up,
through the woods.
and what do we see? What do we see? Clearly,
A man walking through
strong
the woods.
imagery of a Bigfoot. Let's just see
it's
that
not-
again. If we got this in slow motion, let's just break it down. And look, clearly
What am I looking
imagery
at?
there of a giant woodland beast.
It's not giant, it's the same size as a man,
That's about-
walking like a man on two legs, like a
That's-
man does.
Think of the distance ratio. That's probably about 15 foot tall. Those trees were probably about 200 foot. The dog's
How
probably
big's
about
the dog
2
then?
foot.
The dog's like 12 foot tall,
The
is it?
dog's 2 foot. The man's about 15
You want to put this on a
foot.
postcard, mate. Put it on a postcard and draw a few numbers on there. Put in like 30 feet, 12 foot, 100 foot, then that'd be solid proof for you then, wouldn't it?
I think that
would be
is,
solid proof then, wouldn't it?
Guaranteed evidence that what we're seeing is obviously a big. Look at that.
Right, stop it there, can we, Leon?
Can we? Is there any way we can
can that be done?
we can get a freeze frame of this and just look at the imagery? There are a few things that a Bigfoot has that a human man won't have.
Go on then.
For example, he's covered in pubes completely, whereas human men only have some pubes in certain parts of their bodies. From head to toe.
Right.
We know that he's not afraid of the dog.
We don't know that at all. That can just be a coat or a fleece or anything else.
It could be a coat or a fleece, but let's look at the weather. Okay.
What do you mean? So hang on a minute now. So you say it could be? Oh yeah. It could be a bloke in the forest in the wet weather wearing a coat. But what's more believable, that or an unknown species of wood-dwelling superhuman?
Yeah. Say the words.
15-foot biped.
An unknown species of superhuman woodland dwelling.
And that's more likely, is it?
Yes.
Have you heard of Occam's razor?
Something like Gillette.
No, it basically says if you just go for the simplest option, the simplest thing is usually right.
Okay, so what's the simplest thing
What's
being?
the simplest thing there? That there's been
Giant Bigfoot.
some sort of parallel species,
Giant Bigfoot.
a biped
15-foot Bigfoot.
that has evolved independently for millions of years, unseen,
Yeah.
that lives in the woods, apparently that hangs around near dogs who've got GoPros on them.
Yeah.
Is that more believable than a bloke walking across a woods wearing a black coat, is it?
If you are watching this now, you can tweet us at The Unexplainers on Twitter. You can get in contact on Facebook. You'll be watching it via Facebook now.
Yeah, do that.
And remember, if you want to find out any more evidence about this, you can check out our podcast, which is Unexplainers Extra on all good podcast platforms.
And don't be afraid just to get involved, just to slag out John. I mean, if you want to just phone in and call him a Burke, I mean, that's fine.
I think if you
Not
want
phone
to...
in, I thought it was on Swap Shop then.
It's not the 80s anymore, Mike.
no.
I think if you want to...
remember that?
Yeah, classic show. 11s.
Do you remember the phone number?
I'm thinking 089...
01 811 8055.
Yeah, I was thinking gay chat, slightly different telephone number, slightly different era, but all equally as good fun to bring.
Different people, different needs.
You can contact us through any of those mediums. What are your views on Bigfoot?
Media, isn't it?
One of the two.
I've got a fly just buzzing around me.
That's all right, no problem. Contact us, let us know. There's some comments coming in, flooding thick and fast. Emma, how many people are watching the show now? There must be at least 12 people involved now.
We've got 21 people watching.
21 viewers. Give a round of applause for 21 viewers, everybody. That's the strongest response.
I mean,
That's nearly as many people have listened to the comments. What comments have we got in at the moment, please, Ian?
Steve Hughes, do the math.
Yeah.
Hugh Solo, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hugh.
And Hugh also said it's a fake dog.
Now, Hugh, very interesting you brought that up because, as we know, the fake dog is on the rise in America. And that's something we will be looking at in future episodes. I don't want to go too far into that now. I may upset people who could cause
As we
damage.
know, the fake dog is on the rise in America.
Yeah, there's a massive... I don't want to say too much at this point because I think we're at a very
Please
crucial
don't.
point.
Yeah, that never stops you normally, to be honest.
Human-dog relations are very touchy at the moment, and to bring
The
fake
fake
dogs
dog is on the rise in America.
into... Yes, it's very true.
Well, you heard it here first. And I'll venture to say last.
Possibly. We will see where the evidence leads us. We're doing very well tonight with belief systems. So far, the flat Earth. Mike, you don't believe at all that there could be a possibility of a flat Earth.
Obviously not. No.
I'm still on the fence about this. Bigfoot, as we know, does exist.
I disagree.
Okay, well, let's think of it this way. If it doesn't exist, why are people out there going out of their way to trap, find, and kill this creature? If you were looking for a Bigfoot, what would you do? You would build a trap, wouldn't you? And I've got solid evidence of Bigfoot existing because I've got evidence of a Bigfoot trap. I don't know if have we got the shot there of the Bigfoot trap. Now, if you look at this, Mike, this looks like a shed or a type of countryside toilet. Now, what we're actually working with
exactly
here...
like a shed, to be fair.
Yeah, but what you'll notice is it's got a reinforced wall, it's got a heavily reinforced corrugated iron roof, and a massive door at the front that'll slide down if any Bigfoots do come nearby.
Is it Bigfoot or Big Feet?
It's Big Feet. I think it's Big Feet. So if we do see Big Feet, then they will come into the trap. This is on Collins Mountain Trail in Oregon, USA, which I'm hoping to get out there later in the year.
I'll happily drop you off there.
And spend a couple of nights in the woods. So far, we've tried to be in contact with the builders, and they haven't gotten back to us, but we are...
Don't ever say gotten again.
Yeah, we've gotten in contact with the builders.
What would you say gotten for then?
It's an Americanization. It helps for the American viewers. Some of those 20 people tonight may be American. It helps with the translation.
Well, happy Independence Day.
Thank you to everyone from America.
Or as I call it, a Mexit.
Oh, very clever.
Good, isn't it?
So the concept of the trap is there. It's just a matter of time, Mike. And when it happens, we've got cameras trained on that trap. And I know for a fact...
That's no evidence whatsoever.
Okay, so why are you saying it's no evidence? What would...
Because how is making a shed evidence of anything?
I think if
I'll tell you what then, maybe he's made a shed in the woods there to capture aliens. So that's proof the aliens exist. That's proof.
Very
solid proof. There's a shed in Oregon.
Everybody knows, Mike, that if you're going to trap an alien, you have to lie in a fake bed pretending to be asleep with your trousers around your ankles. That's the only way you're going to catch an alien. Now,
Why a fake bed?
Because if it's a real bed, you will be asleep. Whereas if it's a fake bed, you're actually secretly awake. You've got a sword with you. When the alien comes in, as we know, aliens don't have any bones. So it's very easy to switch around, pull your trousers up, swipe through the alien, cut it in half like a piece of jelly. That's what people do. Whereas with the Bigfoot, you need a reinforced...
This is what my life has become.
And it's a very great thing. It's a great experience to be here. I think with the Bigfoot, we have to remember that the Bigfoot cage is a giant reinforced wooden cage. It has a few Mars bars, some egg sandwiches, perhaps a beef burger.
Sounds all right, to be fair.
And it has a way of enticing the animal in. So remember, there is a marked difference between an alien trap and a Bigfoot trap. So strong evidence.
Good to know, John.
Yeah.
If I want to capture an alien, there's a different technique.
Strong evidence on the concept of Bigfoot there, which
that's your evidence then.
Yes. If you're watching, please.
That's reverse engineering to the nth degree, really, isn't it? I mean, you know, if I stumbled upon a wooden shed in Oregon, I wouldn't automatically assume that was evidence that a Bigfoot existed.
Now, if you came across a wooden shed in Oregon with a heavily sprung iron door at the front with a few egg sandwiches.
I think there were some strange dudes out in the woods.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion. You're entitled to your own. Please feel free to contact us. Let us know your opinions at The Unexplainers on Twitter.
At The Explainers.
New comments coming in now, thick and fast. How many viewers have we got now, guys?
Live.
Right now we have 22 viewers.
22. Let's have a round of applause for 22.
Leon, whenever we ask you, mate, just to make it look better, just put 2 zeros on the end, okay?
222,000 viewers right now. This is a very
Fifth of a million, touch me.
Very strong show. New comments coming in thick and fast. Please
Gareth A. Hopkins.
Yeah.
Has anyone pointed out how much John looks like a psychic medium for real? Put him into a badly photoshopped poster with some clouds and stuff. He'll have a sellout show in the back of a pub.
Yes. Now, thank you for pointing that out. I do have a lot of skills.
Well, thank you very much, Gareth. But for your information, my friend, we've already had a sellout show in the back of a pub.
Yes. I didn't demonstrate too many of my psychic skills there, but just a quick message for you now using my mind. That's just a private message for Gareth there, using my psychic skills. Thanks, Gareth, for
I got a private message for you, Gareth, as well. Here's one for you, Gareth, coming from me.
Got it coming through, just channeling there.
I'm just going to look straight in the lens.
Yeah.
Leon, cue me up.
Yeah.
This is for Gareth.
I can feel that. I can feel that. Very strong. New comment coming in.
New comment. Bring him in.
Let's thick and fast, 22,000.
I've just come up with a great name for the people who follow the show. Unexplainians.
The Unexplainians are coming thick and fast tonight. New comments. Ian, could you give us the new comment, please?
How would John catch an alien Bigfoot then? Bed, shed, bed.
Very interesting.
That is what who's that from, Leo?
Hugh Solo.
Hugh Solo, great question, and I'm really glad that Hugh asked that question.
He's a top isn't he?
As we know, you need a reinforced shed with a sprung door for a Bigfoot. For an alien, you need a fake bed, trousers around your ankles, pretend to be asleep with a sword to cut them in half.
Yeah.
All you do to attract a alien Bigfoot, place some egg sandwiches around the bed. The alien Bigfoot will be attracted by the food. Put a sprung door on the back of the fake bedroom and combine the two. Very simple. New comment coming in from one of the Unexplainians. Thick and fast, over 2,200 listeners tonight, or viewers.
Gareth Hopkins has replied to your psychic message, John. There are some strong psychic opinions. You've changed my point of view there.
Thank you, Gareth, for
I think he's weak.
Well, we're all entitled to our own views, Mike, but...
because I just slagged him out. Psychically.
Well, possibly, yes.
I noticed you didn't mention that because I gave him a piece of my mind, literally.
You did give him a piece of your mind. You did give him one more comment coming in before I think we move on to section 3. Thick and fast from the Unexplainers. Feel free to drop. Who's this from, Ian?
Kelly Fremantle.
Thank you, Leon.
Unexplainees.
Yeah. Is that it?
As a name suggestion.
Okay.
Unexplainees. That's not a bad name.
Okay. Yeah, we'll stick
I think
with
Unexplainians sounds cooler though.
Okay, I think I'm quite happy with Unexplainians.
But we'll call Kerry an Unexplainee.
Yeah, Unexplainians could just be talking about people called Ian. I don't know. It's something we'll have
Unexplain Ian. I'm going to have a little drink of water.
Have a little drink of
water. Now,
water.
if you were a sponsor, like I'd happily plug this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put my hand over there.
Okay. So what
but
you're saying
if you did own a mineral water company, I could show people what I said underneath.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to.
At this point in the show, you could be selling your product to over 2,200 people.
You know what I mean?
And it's a
You do the math.
strong, very
You
strong.
do the math.
Yeah,
Idiots.
yeah. Not the viewers,
I don't like these ones with
the
the
sponsors.
funny top.
Sports cap, not so big on them. Moving on, we're going to move on to section 3, or as I like to call it, section 3.
Yeah.
Mike, can we have a sound effect from you, please? Section 3.
Section 3.
Fantastic. Right, Mike, we've done exceptionally well so far. We've looked at the flat earth theory. We've found out that Bigfoot does exist via footage caught by a dog in some woods. Now
Yeah.
I've got a couple of
But not
questions
just that,
for you.
John. He backed it up with we finding a shed in some woods as well.
That's right. So I'd like to ask you another question now, a very simple question. Mike, have you ever been to Chester?
Yes, I
Have
can
you ever
confirm
had-
Chester exists.
Have you ever had the plague?
I haven't had plague, but I have caught
Plague.
stuff.
The plague? You've never had
in
the
my,
plague?
No, but you know, I've had some in my youth.
Making love. Making love.
Making love.
Okay. Have
Plague.
you ever seen a doctor?
I've had love plague.
Yeah. Ever seen a doctor?
Yeah, I saw him about the love plague.
Okay. Well, that leads me very tightly onto our next feature in part 3 of the show, which is about the Chester Plague Doctor. I don't know if you know anything about this, Mike. For those of you at home who don't know anything about plague or doctors,
Or Chester.
I'd like to start this piece. We'll move on to that later. I don't want to confuse too many people too fast. The plague was a type of illness that existed well before the 1960s that made a lot of people terribly ill. Some died, quite tragically.
Some died.
Yeah, and
a couple did die.
doctors were involved that helped these people when they were dying.
A third of the population in Europe, actually, John.
Quite a large amount of people died.
Yeah.
And what we've done is to demonstrate what we're going to come up with next is an image of a plague doctor.
Oh, Christ.
So plague doctors...
Look at that.
Look at his little spindly fingers.
Look at that.
Quite horrific imagery.
Imagine that walking through the streets of 17th century London where there's pestilence and death all around you. And this dude walks in to try and rescue the situation. I'd kill myself.
Imagine it lying on top of you in a nightclub after 12 pints. Equally as horrible. Now, the people of Chester...
Look at his nails.
Yeah, it's horrific, isn't it? I think the...
Do you know why they did that, though?
The long nails?
No, do you know why they did the terrifying bird face?
Well, it's interesting because the beak and the mask was actually stuffed with Twixes, ice creams and Mars bars. And
You're
what they
half
do-
right, John, which is the thing. The beak was a leather beak stuffed with
Twixes,
sweets. No, there was no
ice
Twixes in the
creams.
1600s.
Okay.
Is the thing. They had a forerunner was the twig.
Right, twigs,
But yeah, they had twigs. They had no Twixes.
sage.
Yeah, but well, you're not far off. They
Okay.
put sweet-smelling spices in there, but they thought the plague was spread by bad smells.
It wasn't a type
Foul
of
odours.
lunchbox. Before we move on, there's another comment
Another
just
comment,
come in.
another comment.
How many viewers now, please, Ian?
5 million.
Whoa,
Over 5
touch
million, viewers right now. This is a very...
One from Mike's sister showing she's ashamed of his love plague.
Okay, yeah.
I'd like to point out to the Unexplainians that my sister was nothing to do with my love plague.
Okay, that's fair enough, yeah.
You know.
And one from Lewis, who said that was the original Swansea City mascot.
The original Swansea City mascot was a plague
It does
doctor.
look, yeah, it's good. It looks like Cyril the Swan, doesn't it?
Okay,
A bit.
so there is some sort of popular culture
I
vibe
just see
going
that
on.
walking through the streets, though.
I think the image of seeing a plague doctor walking through the streets would be terrifying, especially when you're surrounded
It'd
by
be
people.
horrific. Go back to it again, please,
Let's
Leon.
just have a little look at this now.
I think he's German
And,
too, isn't he?
Look at that. You can see. So we've got his name,
Dr.
Doctor.
Schnavel von Kund.
Yeah.
Von Coyle.
Look at that. There's a close-up
Oh,
there.
my
That's
God.
quite horrific. You can imagine dead bodies all
I'm
around you.
dying. No, never mind. The plague doctor's in town. And he walks in. Oh, my Christ.
Another strong comment come through regarding
He's
our
got a
plague
branding
doctor.
iron. Well, no, what's he got on the top there? Like a... Was that like an egg timer?
Yeah.
He's making eggs.
Yeah.
What's he making eggs for? People are dying everywhere. And this dude's worrying about if he's got a soft-boiled or hard-boiled.
3 minutes to count down. It's the way they measured death in those days. Another comment coming through there. Let's have a
Andy
little look.
Tyndall, good name for a boy band, The Plague.
Not bad. Probably wouldn't listen to their
That's because the
music.
plague doctors, is it,
Bit
Andy?
too old for boy bands nowadays. But I think what was quite shocking about the
A
image...
plague on boy bands, John.
Strong views, Mike.
plague on
Strong
boy
views.
bands.
I haven't got anything personally against boy bands. If they're not, they're not my cup of tea. They make many young girls happy. So
Live and let live.
massive respect to them. I'm more scared of a plague doctor trying to rip my buboes out from under my arms with his scythe or whatever they used to do. And this has been happening in Chester, Mike.
Well, people get their buboes ripped off by a
People
scythe.
are having their buboes ripped off en masse by a plague doctor that is haunting the streets of Chester. Don't believe me?
No.
We've got an image here, a photograph. If we can just bring this up here, you can see there is
What is that?
plague doctor, which has been spotted
That's not
in
a plague
Chester.
doctor. That's some Burke in fancy dress. What is he even in? It looks like IKEA before they've put the furniture in there.
I
What's
think
he
he's
doing?
in a sort of medieval shopping centre in the Chester area. And if we zoom in on that, you can make out exactly what we've just seen in the photograph previously. We can see the
He's
hood,
wearing the same outfit, yeah.
the same outfit. He hasn't got an egg timer with him, but this has been happening for several weeks now, where the people of Chester have been terrified to the point of.
I haven't heard of this.
You wouldn't have heard of it because everyone in Chester has locked themselves indoors. Nobody has any communication with anyone in Chester for the past 3 months. People are completely terrified. This man is striking at the heart of midnight, ripping people's buboes off and forcing
People haven't got buboes.
They have in Chester, by all accounts. This is why the ghost of this plague doctor has come back. Don't believe me, Mike?
Obviously not, no.
I've got solid evidence, video footage of the plague doctor with his bag of buboes. Look at this.
Right.
Now, if you look, you can notice the satchel under his arm.
He's like a goal of satchel he's got on there.
Packed to the brim with rancid buboes filled with pus.
Look at his... I'd wear the shoes, though, to be fair.
Is it a ghost? Yeah, he's got a set of Dick Turpin shoes on.
I'd
we
wear
can see
those.
that. Now, what's been happening is he's been patrolling the streets at night, terrifying people.
We've got a new
we've got
comment
a
coming
comment
in, John.
just come in there.
Would the guys rather die by plague, die by getting eaten alive by Bigfoot, or die via severe alien probing? Just to clarify, this is not a death threat.
Okay, that's nice to know that this isn't a death
Who's
threat.
this off?
I'm really. Who sent that in?
Hugh Solo.
Hugh Solo. Great question.
Good to know
Hugh.
that Hugh's not a deranged stalker who's going to kill us.
Yeah, just wants to know how we'd like to die.
I quite like the sound of being probed.
I'm a bit scared of the probing. I'd probably be
Have you ever been probed?
a couple of times, but it's more sort of a private thing that I do, by myself. I don't
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
sort of bring other people into it. I think I'd like to be
do.
ripped in half by a Bigfoot and have my spinal column pulled out, and then he'd use it as a type of whip on the other hunters that were trying to track him down. And as they shot him,
Yeah.
he's so big
Yeah.
and he's so powerful that
Yeah.
the bullets don't bring him down.
Right.
And he uses my spinal column like a whip, and he rips off 3 men's heads with my spinal column. And one of them gets away, but he's badly disfigured because some
He
of the
looks
skin.
like, what's his name? Fernando.
Who's Fernando?
The dude with the...
Oh, we saw earlier on. Yeah, the skin comes off of his face, and he lives to tell the tale, but he's so deranged by the terror, he can never tell anyone what fully happened. And they say, what happened to those guys out there that night? And he's going, don't talk to me. I saw him use a spinal column as a whip. That's how
you've thought it through.
That's how I.
What's the other options there, Leo?
It was probed by an alien,
Yeah,
ripped in half by a
I'll have
Bigfoot.
that.
Yeah, or to die of plague.
I'll have the alien probe up the
Okay.
old...
Okay, so let's just take a look at that footage again of the Chester Plague Doctor.
as I call him,
So if we
the
watch
fancy
this-
dress-wearing Burke.
So we see he's near water there, which is very important because, as we know, water is a great portal for spirits to come in and out of this
Well,
world.
we don't know that, do
There's
we?
a lot of energy. We do know that from our extensive research, Mike. We know that water is like a gateway, a type of wet gateway that brings
What's
them
this
in.
guy? I think you've got no life. This guy's just walking around Chester.
When you say this guy,
With
you
a
do
satchel.
understand that this is not just a man in a costume. You understand that this
But it is patently
This is
just a man in a costume.
I think the most terrifying thing was when I was doing my research, Mike, there was a woman called Margaret Rutherford who lives in Chester, and she came across this creature about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
The doorbell rang about 9:30 at night, and she opened the door to see it. She pulled the mask off, and there was just a skull with worms coming out of the front. And she hasn't been able to sleep since. The woman refused to be on the show today. Or relatives can't speak to her. She's locked herself in her house.
Have you just made her up?
No, that's real, and that did happen.
When was this?
That was probably about a week
How
to
did you
10
get in
days
touch
ago.
with you?
I used the internet, and
Alright.
I just typed in Margaret Rutherford.
Can you forward me the link?
Yeah, I'll do that after the show. Another comment come in. How many viewers have we got at the moment, please, Ian?
1,600.
1,600.
fair play.
So very strong response at the moment.
Down from 5 million.
Uh,
now.
That's good, yeah.
This was a private message to the Unexplainers Facebook page from Dean.
Dean, okay.
John, where do you do your research? If you Google Chester Plague Doctor, it is instantly revealed as a social media marketing campaign by Big Heritage. It is the third link down from the top of Google.
Okay, Dean. So what's interesting is obviously since
Dean is a man of my own heart,
possibly Dean, but
and not my buboes.
what I'd like to say, Dean, is that you have to remember when something like this happens, you can imagine the city of Chester would be flooded with paranormal experts. The whole thing would go absolutely crazy. So I think what the council have done there is to, so very much like the film Jaws.
They jumped on the old bandwagon.
Yeah, they've tried to tone it down a bit. They've tried to say it's a marketing project.
Maximise profits.
Well, no, what they've tried to do is stop the paranormal hunters from coming. And they've tried to keep the normal touring flow happening. So, Dean, you are right. There is a link that we can see up on the screen now talking about it being
He's doing a bit of window
a marketing.
Fair play.
Well, do you want to read that?
Don't a lot of footballers live in Chester?
Is there a
Wayne
second mystery
Rooney
Chester plague doctor prowling the city streets?
When's this?
So, you know, he may not be part of the company.
He looks like a man who's bought a Big Bird outfit from Sesame Street and just sprayed it black.
Well, let me just read, can I read some of that comment out, if we can bring it back? Cestrians have been left wondering if there is a second
What a
spooky
great name,
plague doctor.
Cestrians.
Sounds like something from Doctor Who. Roaming the streets of Chester because of a mysterious social media account claiming to be the eerie figure. A Facebook account called Chester Plague Doctor has attracted almost 2,000 likes to the page, which purports to be the cloaked, hooded figure who's been prowling in the city
realise
streets
that
at night
crap
for the
there
last
has got
few
more
weeks.
likes than us, do you?
Possibly. How many viewers have we got at the moment?
Nearest million?
27.
So 27,000 viewers at the moment.
That's not bad.
Which is quite a high amount, you know.
You know.
Just to sum up so far in the show, we looked at flat earth theory. Mike, your theories on flat earth theory and the believers of flat earth theory?
Well, John, I mean, each their own. If you want to believe that we live on a disc and ignore common sense, air travel, space travel, satellite technology, astronomy, mathematics, physics, that's up to you.
Okay.
I'll choose the other camp.
Yeah.
And I'll keep believing that we live on the globe that we definitely live on.
Okay. I'm still on the fence. I was brought up believing there is a round earth. I'm still not sure 100% about the flat earth. I'm willing to take on any other facts or figures that come in.
Right.
Bigfoot.
I can finish you with lots of those afterwards.
Okay. Bigfoot. Solid evidence there. 2 types of film.
One film from 50 years ago of a man in a suit walking away.
Mm-hmm.
And another one from recently, taken by a dog walking through the woods.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, another comment's just come in here from one of the 2,000 viewers. What's the...
It's now 23,000 viewers.
23,000 viewers. It's building up exceptionally strongly at the moment. Yeah.
Dinah Hazeldine, OMG, OMG, OMG. Saw this thing in Chester a few weeks ago. Locals didn't seem too phased. I thought it was someone on a stag night. Cheers, Eggsy, for the explanation.
There you go.
Maybe they
Solid
didn't see
evidence.
it. Maybe they didn't see it, Dina. That's why they weren't phased.
Solid evidence.
Maybe
there.
only she could see it.
So it has been spotted by Dina there. So I'm very excited to know that. Another comment's just come in here now.
Right,
this
come on then.
This is thick and fast now.
Chester Council is funded by the CIA.
Strong views. Strong views. Something that I can't...
sort of rubbish you came up with, isn't it?
I can't clarify that at the moment. I haven't done enough research into that. I think possibly there is a possibility that this could happen. I don't know. I need to look into that further before I can say anything.
When you look into things, just
Yeah.
out of interest, though, I mean, for the unexplainians and for myself,
Yeah.
what does it entail? You looking into things? Give me just a soupçon of what goes through your mind when you're researching a subject.
So, Mike, what we'll do is we'll take a hot burning subject, a hot topic, as I like to call it.
Right.
You name a hot topic, for example.
The Chester Plague Doctor.
Okay, so we'll take something like the Chester Plague Doctor, which will come up on my radar. Someone will send me a message. I'll get a call late at night. And what I'll do then is there's a device called the internet. I'll go on the internet, I'll type in Chester Plague Doctor, and I'll usually get 100% sort of my information from the internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just checking, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was basically where you were at, like that.
Yeah, yeah. So time is passing
Not a big
now.
believer in peer assessed scientific work or going to libraries or looking at,
Don't believe it until you can see...
Don't believe unless it's got www in front of it, yeah?
Yeah, just very quickly being told by the producers, we're going to go back to our ISS live feed.
Okay, cool.
Apparently, we spoke about the flat Earth. There is proof that the Earth is round. Mike,
There we go.
what would
There
you
we
like to
go.
say about
That's
the flat Earth?
live from the ISS.
Okay. So one of the biggest terror groups in the world. Whoa, the image is just shut down. Now, did you notice that?
Oh, it's gone off again.
What's happened? You tried to claim that the Earth is round, and what happens? Would you like to read that comment, please, Mike?
Please stand by. The high-definition Earth viewing experiment is either switching cameras back
It's
again.
gone off. So I think...
This tells me NASA sort your act out.
Actually, if we look at the image now, what you'll notice has happened.
Right.
We were filming the flat Earth.
There we go. There we are.
Yeah. So can you explain
There's that
what
old flat Earth
we're
there, look.
watching here, Mike?
The old flat Earth there
Yeah.
from space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is curvature on it, but you'll notice that the image cut out, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't see the dome though. I don't see the Truman Show-esque dome on the outside, do I?
Yeah. I mean, is the dome the black bit in the background?
No, that's called space, John.
Is the dome the black bit in the background? Are we?
Yeah, you've
floating
confused the
underneath it?
space with the dome.
Another
there.
comment coming in here. Let's just see what everybody's saying about it.
Who Solo proves nothing. Is Star Wars real because it's on screen?
Is Star Wars real because it's on screen?
There's a man called Hugh Taylor.
I think it's a good point.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
In a galaxy far, far away.
You know. So
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? We don't quite have the evidence yet, but I think so far tonight we've learned a lot.
Yeah. Well, thanks to the Unexplainers for getting involved. Thanks for
Well, how many people?
We ended up over 9 million.
20.
Leon just said.
Was it 20?
20
27 we peaked at.
27 million.
27 million people. So I think tonight, what are the
I mean,
three?
you're talking about that's over 1 in 3 of the population of the UK.
So, I mean, before we go, remember you can contact us on Twitter, at The Unexplainers. Facebook, what's the address?
Facebook is The Unexplainers on Facebook.
And remember our highly rated podcast with over 40 listeners.
Now, the podcast is good. I think we're underselling ourselves there.
Yeah, the podcast is
Who am I to say that it's the 3rd ranked comedy podcast in the United Kingdom?
The Unexplainers Extra is available on iTunes and all podcast platforms at the moment. You can check it out. Feel free to message us, send us pictures, any stories you've got about the paranormal, let us know.
Money,
Just before money would be
gifts,
very greatly welcome.
shoes. You've got any shoes with big heels you don't like, size 10? You know,
Any sort of clothes or anything.
any clothes.
Yeah.
If you've got like an elderly relative who's on their last legs, who were quite hip in the 70s, but at the same time we're overweight in the 70s, and they are on death's door, have just died, please get in touch with the show so that I can come and do your house clearance.
House clearances are, we're quite happy to carry out house clearances. I'm quite happy to take people's record collections, some electric goods. I'm quite happy to take some of the electric
If you're going to
goods.
send us electric goods from dead relatives, can they be pet tested?
Yeah. I mean, if you've got a dead relative who's got a really good TV, don't worry about getting that tested because I'll just take that.
Yeah,
Like,
I
no
mean,
qualms.
I stole some fairy lights from a deceased old lady in a caravan we filmed in,
Yeah,
and they were next to useless.
yeah. I know older people do have poorer vision, so they may use a bigger television. So feel free to send that to us. Any money
If they've got
lying
one of
around.
those like A4 size page magnifiers that you put over a page to
It looks
read
like,
it,
yeah, sometimes you get things that look like that.
concentric
don't
circles.
they? Yeah,
I'm after one of those. Like
Big-
I can't find one for love nor
big
money.
magnifying glasses. All these things will aid our research and will allow us to carry on making such great programs as this.
Or a toffee hammer. Remember the old? About that big?
Possibly your gran's died and she's left a slab of toffee behind that she didn't break into because
gone
her
hard.
teeth couldn't take it. She probably hasn't even opened it since Christmas, but you bought her one every year. It became a tradition. They piled up and she didn't have the heart to tell you she couldn't eat them anymore. If there's any of them left, we'll
Yeah.
take them.
If it's within the sell-by date,
Yeah, we'll take
get in
them.
touch with the show.
Yeah. So anything like that, let us know. Get in contact. Or if you've got any news about the paranormal, let us know. Remember, just one final recap. Twitter.
Twitter is at The Unexplainers.
Facebook.
Facebook is The Unexplainers.
Yeah.
And Swap Shop's phone number,
Mm-hmm.
Noel Edmonds, is 018-118-055.
It's
That
not-
will not work anymore.
No.
They stopped the 01 code
No.
in the early 90s.
But nonetheless, we have been The Unexplainers. This has been The Unexplainers Live. Thank you very much for watching tonight. Should we end with a polite round of applause?
Should we just do our patented fist pump first?
Okay.
Yeah, and now we're just going to give you thanks for watching.
Should we just turn it off?
Just turn it off.
I have to finish my coffee.